This week on Outdoor Oklahoma, a bass tournament club like no other makes short work out of Bell Cow Lake. It's the Oklahoma Mini Boat and Tube Club. And if your boat's more than 12 foot, well, you're out of luck with these guys. From the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation, Outdoor Oklahoma. Well, hello and welcome to Outdoor Oklahoma. I'm Todd Craighead, and I'm joined today by Todd Renfro. It's the Todd and Todd Show. Thanks for joining me today,
No problem,
Todd.
sir. No problem at all.
Now tell me about the unique club that you represent.
It's the Oklahoma Bass Anglers Tube and Mini Boat Association. It's a club that's got roughly around 18 to 20 members in it on the average. We consider mini boats anything under 12 feet. They have fishing float tubes that companies put out, and they get in there and kick around in the water and catch fish in their tubes.
Now I've heard of this club for a long time. It's been around quite a while.
It was established in 1981. They started off with roughly 100 plus members. Don't know the difference, what's happened. People have retired and gone over and do everything, different things. So.
Sure. But you were telling me earlier, you've got some members that were essentially charter members all those years ago.
We have got probably, I think there's 3 guys that are original members from when it first started. And a couple of them used to be the officers and have since retired as being an officer. They just want to fish. They want to get out and go fishing.
Well, that's great. Well, it's a really unique club. Obviously, like you said, the boats all have to be under 12 feet. And that covers a wide variety of boats. And we'll kind of talk about that a little bit later. But tell me a little bit about how the actual club operates.
Basically, in the mornings we set a time up where we all meet. From there we have to check in. We have live well checks and stuff like that, and then usually we'll allow a 30-minute drive time or a 45-minute drive time depending on the size of the lake, and they'll drive to their designated areas, and we'll have a set time to start. We'll start at say 6:30 in the morning, and then we fish for 8 hours. After that 8 hours, we'll stop fish, and then we'll go to a mutual ramp that we've checked in at and weigh the fish in.
So it's very much like most any other tournament.
Yes.
It's just unique because of the size of the boat,
right.
too.
A lot of our guys in the club don't make a lot of money, and they'll come out and they'll fish in these little clubs because it doesn't cost $50,000 to have a mini boat. Like the big guys do. Like I say big guys meaning in the big boats.
Sure. Yeah. You do several tournaments all throughout the state, and I was looking at your schedule, and they range from little lakes up to Texoma.
Yeah, we fish 10 tournaments a year with a championship/mystery tournament at the end of the year. And what determines a mystery tournament is we'll vote on it at the end of the year where we're going to fish for the /championship. And we fish small lakes like Prague City Lake. And we'll go fish Texoma. This year we're going to be down at McGee Creek, and we're going to be fishing Eufaula at the end of the year in October.
Well, great. Well, I followed along with one of their tournaments last year on Bell Cow, and boy, I tell you what, I was really impressed with that lake. That a beautiful lake.
It's a very nice lake. It's the first time they've ever had a fishing tournament on it. The city of Chandler, they basically had to put it to a vote with the members to say yay or nay on letting a tournament on there. So that was something, you know, proud that we could say that we did, you know, the first club to have a tournament on that lake.
Sure, you were the guinea pigs.
Exactly.
And I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but I bet you that won't be the last tournament Bell Cow has.
No, we'll probably be going back in the next year or two.
That's great. Well, good deal. Well, we're going to catch up with the club at Bell Cow and just see how well they do.
This is actually my first year, but I've only made it to a couple tournaments. I tend to work a lot, fishing my off time, so more or less for fun.
You can go a lot of places a lot of big boats can't go. Got nothing to worry about. You can cut in through all those trees twice as easy, and you got about a fourth of the money tied up. Not even that much, probably about a tenth of the money tied up. I still have just as much fun.
We probably caught 10, 15 between us, but none of them were, I mean, they were all like that.
I was hoping this morning, there's a lot of them jumping, we'd get them off top water, but they wouldn't hit any walking baits, any spooks, poppers, nothing. I heard one of the guys, one of our best fishermen, say he's been here 3 times, never caught a fish.
This year, or
In his life, I don't know.
In his life.
Not much of a turnout today. This is probably the lowest I've seen. Usually it's between 15, 30, something like that.
Yeah.
Time of year. But it is hot and there are other tournaments going on. I don't know if you're familiar with kingfisher. Not a whole lot of water around it. It's very big. So is it really worth paying $10,000 plus to get a big boat and drive 2 hours so you can use it? There's no water around kingfisher that you need anything more than the buster boat for.
I like to think there's something on this rocky point here. I want to see what I can do about it.
Well, now would be a good time to catch one.
I would love to. I've got one pretty good one, about 3-pounder in the live well.
Whoa!
I missed a good one early this morning.
Wow!
Unbuttoned.
Oh man!
I found out about it on the at the Fish and Tackle Show back when they had the big one in Oklahoma City. I was fishing with a buddy of mine. We just go recreational fish for a couple of years, and we thought we might try a little tournament action, see how we stacked up. Found this thing, and this is what I own, a little old Buster boat, and works out good. I own a little 10-foot boat and able to fish in tournament action. I wish I'd have found the club 15 years ago, because I've had this boat for over that long, and I've always wanted to fish against other people and see how I'd stack up.
Yeah.
Yeah, fishies. I bought my first Buster in 1989 and did a lot of pond hopping with it, and started fishing lakes about 8 years ago, and I always heard that these work all right on lakes, and they actually work excellent on lakes. You just find you a good pocket and you go fish it, and go get you in another cove and fish it, and usually you'll fish about as good as a big boat, sometimes better. This is just the perfect fit for me. The reason I don't have a big boat is there's not very many big lakes around Kingfisher. I mean, this boat fits perfect for all the 100 to 1,000 acre lakes. It can cover the whole lake at any time. I tell you what, I bought one of these boats online for a friend of mine for $220. It was used, but it does the job. We got a trailer for it for $100, and it's an economical way to fish. And you can go new or you can go used. These boats, they're made out of this tough plastic. You can't hurt them. But that's what I'd suggest. If you love fishing, this is an economical way to go about it. You can get on any lake you want in Oklahoma. We've done Tenkiller, Texoma, Eufaula. You can fish any of them and fish effectively. This will get you there.
Before I was fishing in this club, you know, I never saw any of these. These are skiffs, which is great for this club because they come up to 12 feet. But prior to fishing in this club, I always fished out of a buster boat. We're getting a lot of the younger generation coming in to fish with us now, and it's just hard to push. You know, with the introduction of the internet, that's pretty much helped us out a lot with our website. We're able to attract a lot of people off of just our website. So as far as, you know, how are we gaining members and getting members? Just word of mouth. You know, hey, I see you got a little boat. You ought to come fish this. You know, fish this club.
You know, Todd, in talking with all your club anglers, I noticed that there's quite a variety in the types of boats that qualify for your club.
Yeah, there's actually several different companies out there that make boats that will qualify into our club. I would say probably starting off at the top would be like a Carolina Skiff. It's a company out of Louisiana that make real skinny water boats, meaning they can go, you know, in real shallow water. Then there's Buster Boats, which used to be here in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And then there's, I think there's Water Scamp and Pelican make boats that would qualify as well.
Sure. Now these, kind of like the one behind us, typically you think about them as being a pond type of watercraft, but your club members take these on like Texoma and Eufaula and Grand and
yes, they do. It's big water,
right?
You know, big lakes, big water, and just the biggest thing that we stress to them is being careful, making sure that they've got all their equipment that they need to abide by the Oklahoma state laws as far as water vessels. You know what they need as far as life jackets, throw cushions, and things like that.
Now, as far as a boat motor is concerned, that's not a restriction for your club, right?
Actually, it is. And I say restriction meaning that it's whatever the boat is rated for. That's the only restriction that we have.
Okay.
You know, some boats, they've got the Coast Guard placard on them that, you know, are rated for whatever size motor the boat is good for.
Okay. All right. So you can have an outboard, you can use trolling motors, all that. Now, for permits and having stickers on your boat, even something of this size behind us would have to have that on a public lake, right?
Yes. They have to have the numbers on them, and they also have to have the motor rated. They have to have it permitted as well, just like on the big boats. I mean, everything that applies to say a 21-foot Triton also applies to the little boats.
Well, good deal. Well, when we come back right after the outdoor news report, we're going to see just how well these guys did on the lake, and I think you're going to be pretty surprised. Well, you know, Todd, I noticed on your website that you have a family kind of membership. Tell me about that.
Any member that joins the club, if their spouse wishes to fish, can fish under the one membership.
Okay.
If they've got a child, if they've got children, they can fish under the membership as well, as long as they're under the age of 18.
That's
So
cool.
essentially, it's an individual tournament, and all they do is they pay for their tournament fee and not have to pay a membership fee.
Well, that's neat. Well, speaking of tournaments, let's now find out just how well these guys did today.
All right, let's go. Bring the fish. Anybody need a bump? Anybody need a bump for?
Two, 5.
That's fish, Jerry. Good job. You got one?
One fish.
That's a football. That's not a fish.
He's live. 336.
Thank you.
Okay. Be happy.
Nice fish. Nice fish. Nice alive. That's it. Thank you guys for keeping your fish alive. That helps out everything, keeping these fish alive. All right, let's get to the money here. Third place with 3.36 pounds, $44, Jim Weevil. All right. And second place with 4.96 pounds, $66, Blake Johnson. Good job, bud. Good job.
Got it.
Good job. All right, first place with 7.36 pounds, $110, Richard Carmen.
Hey, Richard.
Very nice. Congratulations, sir. Good job. All right, stay here. Big bass with a 5.53 big bass, $55, Richard Carmen.
How in the world did you pull that off? Last time I talked to you, you hadn't had a bite.
Got lucky. Changed areas and
Yeah,
changed bait.
yeah, yeah. How late in the day did you catch those?
I caught the first one was a 15-incher, and it was right over there by that riprap.
Uh-huh.
Then about 2 hours later, I caught that big one.
Still right up in there.
It wasn't by the riprap, but it was by those trees. It was within a 20-yard area.
My goodness, that's awesome.
And then I went the rest of the day without getting any bites.
Is this your first time to place, or not place, but I mean
It is this
to
year.
win?
It is this year. I won a couple of years, 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
I can usually pull it off when hardly anybody shows up.
That is great. Well, congratulations. That was a great fish.
I was pretty happy.
Man, that is
Especially
great.
considering, like I told you, I didn't expect to catch anything.
Yeah, exactly. Well, good deal.
I think it went pretty good. I mean, keeping all the fish alive, getting them back in, so another fisherman can come enjoy it and get them to get a little bigger.
No one needed to tell you that there's big fish out there, right?
No, we've had some good fishing going on this year. We've had a 24-inch 10-pounder caught over by the dock back in May, so it's pretty good.
Well, that is great. Well, I had my doubts when I was out there talking to them in the boats, but they pulled it off.
Good deal.
Well, you know, I think I probably was the most surprised at all those big fish those guys brought in. I'm thinking now that they were hiding them in their live wells and not telling me is what the deal was.
There's a lot of guys that do that.
Hey, tell me a little bit about your website, because that's really vital to your organization.
Yeah, I mean, actually it is. You know, we have a website. It's been in use now 4 years, and we've got over 37,000 hits on it, and that's not just club members.
Wow.
So basically, that's the way that I am able to communicate with all the club members and try to push our club onto people. You know, they use search engines and try to find things like that. But they go to the website, and it's got a schedule on there. It's got the point standings. It's basically my way of communicating to club members as far as where they're at in the club. It's with the introduction of the internet. I mean, it's the next best thing, to communicating with people. Besides, we used to have club meetings once a month, and then that became, pretty much obsolete with the introduction of the website.
Sure. Now, the club it reaches all over Oklahoma. You have members all
Actually,
over?
yes, we do. A lot of the members are from local areas, Oklahoma City and all the surrounding suburbs. We also have a couple of club members out of Tulsa that come down and fish with us. So I mean, it's
great.
Again, with the internet, I mean, we reach out to pretty much everybody who's interested in Oklahoma.
Well, that's awesome. So I'm guessing if you've got a boat under 12 foot or a float tube, we really haven't talked about that, but you've got members that use float tubes as well.
Actually, this year, I mean, we've probably got 6 members that fish out of float tubes, and they'll hook up a trolling motor to their float tube, and they'll go pretty much anywhere in the lake they want to.
That's great. Well, I'm assuming, speaking for you, that you'd be thrilled to have more members.
It's awesome. Word of mouth has been, some of our best ways of promoting our fishing club, and with the introduction of the internet, with the website, it's just awesome. We average, like I said, between 18 to 20 members a tournament, and I'd like to see the numbers up. I always want to have more numbers.
Sure.
But we just have a true core membership that shows up at every tournament.
Well, I know for one that I had a lot of fun hanging out with you guys on Bell Cow, and that won't be my last time on Bell Cow for sure. Hey, thanks for joining us today, and if you'd like to hook up with us at your wildlife department, connect with us on Facebook and Twitter. For all of us at your wildlife department, I'm Todd Craighead, and for Todd Renfro, the Todd and Todd Show, we'll see you next time, right here on Outdoor Oklahoma.